What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, while they gave us a brand new trailer/featurette for Moon Knight this morning, there were no real reveals at yesterday's Disney's Investors Day meeting. I sat through every single minute of it, and while we got an extended frame of the original teaser promo for She-Hulk and maybe a frame or two of Groot, and literally just a frame, like a nanosecond look at the project, there were no new Easter eggs to break down, no new reveals or castings. However, in the last week, there was a major report, but just from a source that doesn't normally trade in these kind of things. That's why it's taken a while to make its rounds. Elizabeth Olsen extending her contract with Marvel Studios for almost a decade. We're going to break down exactly where this came from because I saw it reported as rumors, but honestly it came from a very trusted source, just not one that normally trades in industry insider Marvel stuff. We're going to also talk about the very serious inferences we can make from this, not only for Marvel Phase 4 and 5 as a whole, what's happening with Scarlet Witch and Elizabeth Olsen's character, but some direct inferences we can make about how Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness might end. We're breaking down everything in this crazy news that Elizabeth Olsen has extended her contract as Scarlet Witch in the MCU, and for quite a long time. We're breaking that all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. I do daily Marvel content at the channel, everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, reviews, my own theories, all the way to industry insider scoops, reports like today, and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That'll automatically enter you for our PS5 giveaway. I'm also giving away variants and exclusive comics every day this month over on my Instagram. You can see the handle there at IamFires. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So when it comes to these kind of news stories, they normally come from one of our trusted industry insiders that we're friends with here at the channel or re-report on, or from the anonymous Twitter scoopsters, or an industry inside trade like Hollywood Reporter or Deadline. Instead, this news broke all the way back on the 28th of February, so almost a week and a half ago, but from an unlikely source, which is why it took so long for me to hear about it and report on it here at the channel. From Harry Bowles over at Fox on his Twitter at HarryBowlesFox, he reported new. Sources have confirmed Elizabeth Olsen has signed a contract extension with Marvel Studios that extends for the next 7 years. Huge speculations that during the span, her long-awaited Scarlet Witch solo film is in the works. Now, important to separate the first part of that tweet from the second. Also important to note that Marvel themselves have not confirmed this, so while I'd normally tell you to take this with a grain of salt, it is not some anonymous 4chan or Reddit scoop. This is coming from a trusted news source, so I would say, while it's not Hollywood Trader or Deadline, you can basically trust this. A 7-year contract extension means a ton of films to come. Also, she's already been a prominent part of the Infinity Saga, had her own TV show, but never had a Scarlet Witch solo movie. I think there are a lot of us who assumed that not only is she going to be the big bad of Multiverse of Madness, that in order for them to go forward, she's going to have to go down. And I say that meaning she's going to have to be defeated, because it certainly looks like she may be pulling the strings from what we've seen in the trailer. Also, if you're an old comic head and you've read the comics, House of M is leading to this, where she may say no more mutants. It may apply to what's gone on with the rest of the MCU prior to this, erasing the previous continuities and or bringing them into ours. With the all of this assuming that it comes to a culmination in the third act, where whatever heroes are left have to face off against Scarlet Witch. Now, obviously, the MCU has already set a precedent with variants of different kinds being able to replace characters that have been lost. Gamora was able to replace herself from a different point in the timeline, and now with variants, Loki's been able to replace himself after he was killed in the Infinity Saga. Could it be we follow a variant of Wanda? But not so fast. Characters are ultimately invested in this Wanda Maximoff, the one we saw during the Infinity Saga, the one we're continuing to learn about in early Phase 4 with WandaVision, with perhaps a future reunite with Vision. He's still in the MCU, albeit a third and completely different form at this point. But my inference from this is that all the stock in this character comes from it being the continuous version that we've already been invested in. Yes, quick side note, we bought into the Loki from this variant from the beginning, and a lot of people watched that series as if we were following Tom Hiddleston's Loki that we watched during the Infinity Saga, even though he's long dead and gone, and this is a different character. If they brought in a variant of Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch, would we buy in? Of course we would. But I just don't think that's what you do, especially with a huge contract extension like this. So, most likely, the inferences that I was referring to in the prologue are she's going to survive Multiverse of Madness. However that looks, whatever that means, there's a future for her in the MCU. Now, what's really undeniable is that Marvel Studios is moving towards this supernatural, magic-based MCU. We're about to have Moon Knight, then you're going to have werewolves, vampires, that sort of thing. When you keep those characters around and you build towards a Midnight Suns, there's going to be this supernatural magic side of the MCU she can figure prominently in. So the real estate is wide open for her, but I had already seen it postulated in a couple of places, especially one rather lengthy Reddit comment as I was doing the research for this story and following all the way back to its roots, about how perhaps Marvel Studios is replacing in Captain Marvel Brie Larson as the main focus of this next phase with what's going on with Wanda. And I honestly don't think they occupy the same space in the MCU. I think if you take a step back as well, you can see that Marvel Studios is making good on Disney's promise for inclusion. There are a ton of prioritized female leads in Marvel Phase 4 coming up, and I don't think signing her for this contract extension, as big as her character has become, replaces what's going on with Captain Marvel's storyline, as I believe that's ultimately going to culminate in whatever's going on in outer space. Space being the entire galaxy, universe, / what's going on with the Celestials. So I think there's plenty of room for Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch, to take lead in the MCU, especially in the supernatural, the magic side of this, still cross over with a lot of the main characters. But I want to take this even one step further because, you know, guys, I'm an ultimate Marvel fan at the end of it. And in my first conversation with my buddy about this before I did my video, is 7 years our timeline for the next big crossover? Does that mean within the next 7 years, we're going to wrap up whatever Secret Wars, wherever this is going to go, locking down her character for that amount of time, regardless of how many projects are in that? Is that what we're looking at? And if so, over the next 7 years, that stretches the MCU, all the places they're going to need her to show up, all the way out to 2030. There are a ton of projects in the works, both announced and unannounced. The rumors about pre-production on so many shows they haven't talked to us about yet for so many characters, but that's sort of a working timeline now, all the way out to 2029, 7 years from now. That's absolutely incredible. And if that contract starts in 2023, which it may, it could be all the way to 2030. That's the next decade for us. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. Are you hyped for the fact that she's staying around? Do you agree with me that it sort of means it's going to be her version, the one we followed this whole time, that's going to survive Doctor Strange, however that looks? And what does that mean for the speculation now as we see Wanda facing off against all these heroes? Is it her variant that they end up facing off against? Future theory video coming on that very soon. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s every 20,000 subscribers, all the way up to 1 million. The next one's at 960. In the meantime, we're giving away exclusives and variants over on my Instagram from one of our partner companies in slhla.com. They were nice enough to give a ton of comics to the channel to give away to you guys. All you got to do is follow over there on my Instagram. It's at IamFires, and like and comment. There'll be a new photo going up right after this video for the next round of giveaways. I'm doing it every day, but instead of posting every day, I'm just going to do 5 or 6 at a time. It makes it way easier, and then I can just choose a bunch of winners from the one photo. But that's all you got to do to be entered to win the PlayStation here at the channel. For any other giveaways, it's super simple. Hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Make sure to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on to better keep up with the channel. Of course, if you like today's content, today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me over on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name AllFires. And while I'd sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, it's the 2 background songs you're hearing in this video, I just appreciate you checking this channel out. Thanks. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.